Supposed to be Mental Health Mondays, but yesterday I did not go live. So we're going to go live today. As a matter of fact, right now. Major key alert for Mental Health Monday. Okay, we are going to discuss today two major keys to mental health, right? So I'm going to give you some background on affirmations and journaling. Those are major. And most therapists use some form of affirmations or some form of journaling with their clients. Okay. So I want to talk about affirmations first. I just recently rewrote my affirmations, and so the benefits that I am seeing have been none short of amazing. I have seen things really start happening in my life, and I don't know why I ever quit saying them. I used to have them on my wall. I guess I moved and then I packed them up and I stopped saying them. So I'm back. I'm back to saying them. I saw someone on Instagram and he talked about affirmations and he talked about how it just really changes your brain's thoughts and patterns and beliefs. Okay. And so I decided to look it up. So let's look up. I went to, you can see the sources in my bio there for this show. Okay. So the power of affirmations extends to your emotions by constantly reinforcing positive beliefs. So that is the thing about affirmations. They help you to stay positive. You create, excuse me, I'm trying to talk fast. You create a reservoir of uplifting thoughts, making it easier to navigate challenges. All affirmations tend to, over time, reshape your brain's perception. And that is something I have seen. I have been doing them now for a week. These new ones that I wrote, I have been doing them for a week. And so, what it has done is open my mind up to new possibilities. And so, that's what they're talking about here. How are you, Rebecca? Um, Talking about here, thank you. With the affirmations, they help to reshape your brain's perception, right? And so, a lot of times, we have been taught to think negative. And so the affirmations help your brain to go to thinking in a positive way. So, what I tell my clients is to use affirmations and say them out loud. Hello, Tana Rose. And say them out loud. It's something about speaking out loud these affirmations. And so I'm going to give you all just a couple of mine, and you can write your own, or they have affirmations that you could just look up and you can grab some that resonate with you. So one of mine is, I am worthy of all God has for me. What I do is I say them 3 times if I have the time, if I make the time. That's another thing. Affirmations, make the time to say these, and you will really see some benefit. So I say them 3 times. I try. Let me not say the word try. I am working towards being consistent with saying them 3 times. If nothing else, I say them 1 time at least, right? And then I do, there are times when I do the tapping with them. So what the tapping does is you can tap any part of your body, you can tap your head. So I am worthy of all God has for me. And so that just helps to formulated in the brain for you to receive it and then start believing it. I am worthy of all God has for me. So that is one. Write that one down. Use it as your own if you choose to. I deserve the best. Do you really? And what happens with affirmations is sometimes we don't think, or we may not be in that space when we write them, that this is what we believe. But over time, as I said, it changes your brain's perception, right? So say it long enough and you start to believe it. So I deserve the best. I'm going to tap that one right on in there. Mm-hmm. Because I believe I deserve the best. Okay. I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. Almost like hugging myself. I love myself. Okay? You may have grown up and not known how to love yourself. You may be in a space where you still don't love yourself. But what those affirmations do is help you when you're in disbelief to become a believer, right? So I love myself. Say that in the mirror. I really hope that you all will say your affirmations in the mirror. And if you can't, sometimes you may be driving, so you may say them while you're driving. But it is a great space for you. It is a great thing for you really to say these affirmations in the mirror, looking at yourself. You're talking to yourself, right? That is time for you to spend time with yourself. So you got three from me. I am worthy of all God has for me. I deserve the best. And I love myself. I created also, let me see, did I get this one from somebody? So I have a family affirmation as well. And then I have a few money affirmations, which I got from a couple other people. But I'm going to say this family one because when you hear affirmations or people say affirmations, you don't hear something about the family in a lot of affirmations. So this one, I think I got this from someone, and I can't remember exactly who it was. Maybe it was Louise Hay when I was reading her book. I have wonderful, yes, I think it was. I have wonderful, loving, warm, open communication with every member of my family, including my mother, father, brothers, sisters, children, husband, and myself. That's a good one. That is a family affirmation. And so what happens is over time, right? These affirmations become true, or they start to, if you believe in your heart, you really believe these affirmations. I'm sorry, I was getting something off my table. It gives it space to really start showing, right? If that's what is for you, if that's what God has for you, you believe in your heart, then you saying it out loud, you're standing on it, and then it can manifest for you. All right. All right. So that is the power of believing in the affirmations. And then I want to talk about journaling. Journaling is a big thing that a lot of people don't understand the importance of journaling. Journaling helps you to get that stuff out. So, a lot of times when people have anxiety or have a clouded mind or they have a cluttered mind, so if I come into your house and I see a bunch of clutter, I can almost guarantee you that your mind looks the same way, right? If I could see your mind, it is a representative, your room or your home is a representative of what is going on in your mind, all right? So journaling helps you to get it out. Now, the other part is processing what you get out. So what I tell my clients is just put it on paper and then we can process it in session, right? So when something comes up for you, put it down on paper, right? You don't have to figure it out. You don't even have to go back and read it. But what you do is get it from out of your body. You get it from you having to carry that burden. And then when you journal it, when you really put it down, it's almost like a sigh of relief. Like I haven't actually tackled the issue, but I have gotten it up out of me. And so I feel like a weight is lifted up off me. Okay. So that is one of the benefits of journaling. It really helps to relieve any clutter, any tension, any stress in the mind. All right. Put it on paper, jot it down on paper, or some people use their phones. Okay. So here's a big question that a lot of clients have. Um, well, what do I journal about? Like, do I just sit down and say anything? Well, you can, because sometimes if your mind is so cluttered, you can just sit down and just start writing. Look, you got that pen in your hand, and that signals to your brain that I got something to write. So sometimes your mind will just give you what to say. But if not, begin with a date. So this is by How Life Unfolds. This is telling you steps, 6 steps, quick tips on journaling. Right, begin with the date. So always give your journal entries a date. I have found journals and I have reflected back. It has given me a sense of where I am. So I know where I am now. And I look back and I'll be like, I can't believe I was going through that, right? Like, man, look how far I have come. So it gives you a sense of, I'm still here. I made it. So date your journal entries, okay? Start small, right? So you can start with only 5 minutes of writing. You can start with 1 minute of writing. You can just jot a word down, and that may, you may know what that means. But don't take on this big thing. Oh, I'm journaling now. I got to sit down for an hour. It may happen when you actually start journaling that you journal longer than what you even knew was on the inside of you. But start small, right? When you begin journaling, I tell my clients just take 5 minutes. Take 5 minutes of quiet time. Try and quiet your mind, and maybe your mind will quiet once you actually journal it down. Number 3, ask yourself a question, right? And so sometimes I will give my clients prompts because they may not be able to come up with a question but want to do some journaling. So here are some sample questions of what they asked here. How do I feel? How do I feel? How do I really feel? And so when you sit down and you start exploring that, you won't just say fine. See, we say fine to other. Oh, I'm good. Yeah. Oh, I'm okay. I'm doing fine, right? But when you're journaling and you ask yourself, how do I feel? That's a time for you to really search internally and just check out, how am I really feeling? I tell my clients, scan your body, right? Like, what's going on? Do you feel tense anywhere? What's happening? So that can be one question. What do I need? That is a question that a lot of people do not know. If I ask you, what do you need? What is it that you need? Are you able to articulate what it is that you need? Maybe as you start writing, it will become clearer. What's my next action step? Those are 3 good questions to start with, and those will lead to other questions. All right. And if you don't have a therapist, you can look up journaling questions or prompts, and they will give you many prompts for you to begin to write about you, right? Because journaling is all about learning more about you, it's all about taking care of you. Another thing, like, journaling doesn't have to be every day. It can be, but sometimes you can get discouraged if you say, I'm a journal every day, and you don't journal, right? So don't start out by saying, I'm going to journal every day. Maybe one day you might not have something to journal about, and I don't want you to be discouraged about that, right? So when you are prompted, at least once a week. Make time. You may have to put it on your calendar, because if you write it, it's real, right? Put it on your calendar, schedule yourself in. I need to journal, right? I need to sit down. Sometimes you can feel yourself like, I have all this in my brain and I need to get it on paper. So create a space, create a time for you. Because remember, guess what? You are important. You are deserving. You are worthy of time to be made and scheduled for yourself. Okay? So schedule that time for yourself. Protect your privacy. Some people, I've even had clients tell me, I don't write or have a journal because if it doesn't have a lock on it, I won't write in it, because I don't want somebody to find my journal and then they see all that's going on the inside of me. And I get it, right? So protect your privacy. If that's what you need, a journal with a lock or a little safe where you can put it in, so be it. But don't let that be the reason that you don't journal, right? I've even had a client who said, if I journal and then I die and somebody finds my journal, they're gonna know what was going on with me. Facts. But at that point, you will not be here. And so you have that right to feel like that. But, you know, I still say journal. Put it down. Find a safe space. Maybe you can leave it at work somewhere where someone won't be able to have access to it, right? Find a safe space for your journal, i.e., a lock, right? Or a locked locker, somewhere you can put it where you feel safe. All right. And then the final thing is, don't worry about your handwriting, right? Some people think, oh, I don't write very well, or they don't think that they can articulate very well. I tell you, you will know what you were talking about when you wrote it. Just put it down there. All right. So, those are 6 tips if you want to start journaling. And I urge each and every one of us to make sure we are journaling, getting that stuff up out of us, not letting that stuff sit in our bodies, which cause dis-ease. That's why some people have different diseases, dis-ease in their body, because they are allowing a buildup. They're not getting it out. They may not be seeking a therapist. Maybe you can't afford one, right? So the I always say, if you are not seeing a therapist, you better be seeing your journal, right? You better be getting that stuff out of you some kind of way. Okay? So, major key alert. Major keys were dropped on today. And affirmations and journaling. Those are 2 things you can do whether you're in therapy or not, and will give you major growth. All right? It will help you in a major way. Your brain will thank you. All right? So, this has been, we're going to call it Tony's Tip Tuesday. Tony's Tuesday Tip, because I was supposed to come on yesterday for Motivational Mental Health Monday, but it is now Tuesday, and I had to give y'all that affirmations and journaling. So, who's going to try affirmations and journaling? Leave me a comment. Let me know how it's going for you. All right, I'll be back next Monday. Mental Health Mondays is a thing, right? I'm usually here noon ish. Noon ish, because I have, no, on Mondays. Yes, noon ish on Mondays, maybe a little bit after, but between noon and 1, you can find Mental Health Mondays, where I'm always giving you some mental health pointers to better you, to better your mind. All right. So I will see you next Monday. Have a great week and talk to you soon.